series. Just to repeat the announcement we just made, we need DD2 driver number 625, Tamsin Germain, up to the steward's office immediately, please. That's DD2 driver number 625, Tamsin Germain. We have you up to the steward's office immediately, please. Thank you. Well, coming out onto the track then is the KZ2 class. This is the last race of the weekend. What a brilliant weekend it has been. But we are now going to conclude the proceedings today, and indeed for round one, with KZ and their fourth race of the weekend, their second race of the day. As day results being delivered into me, weekend results rather, so we can go through those at the end of the day. But for now, all focus will be on the KZ class. So race number 2, day 2, grid for you. Thomas Cypers on pole position, Jimmy Devine second. Alongside him on the front row, Glenn Vanden Hoek and Robin Glerum will be row 2. Toon de Winter and Lars Lardenois row 3. Mark Verhoeven will be on row 4. Well, it's been interesting to watch, but it's all been about Thomas Cypers this weekend. He's been pretty unstoppable. I think it's fair to say Jimmy Devine has found pace overnight and starts this one second on the place. Was fifth coming into the weekend, but Jimmy Devine second place. On the second row, we're going to have Glenn Vanden Hoek and Robin Glerum. Vanden Hoek getting that third place right at the end of the race. Jimmy Devine was having to defend pretty much all race from Robin Glerum, and then as they went into the corner, this was the earlier race, as they went into the last corner, Glerum just perhaps took his eye off the ball there, went for the outside line, thinking Glenn Vanden Hoek was a little bit too far back to make a move, but Vanden Hoek proved him wrong. Down the inside, takes third place. Toon de Winter, fifth place on the grid. Lars Lardenois, sixth place. Mark Verhoeven will be at the back of the grid on seventh. Okay, once we get a green flag at the back of the grid, which we do, we'll be ready to go racing. There we go. Watch the lights. They go out now, and we're off away and racing, and a good start from Jimmy Devine. Jimmy Devine is going to lead them down towards turn number 1. Going into second place was Glenn Vanden Hoek. So Thomas Cypers, and not for the first time this weekend, is going to be having to do some work to get into the lead. He's had to do this on a couple of occasions, but it's once he gets there where he just walks away with it. Fourth place at the moment is Robin Glerum as they head down the back straight. As there goes Thomas Cypers straight into second place. That's what we were talking about. Thomas Cypers doesn't wait around. He's gone into second place. Fourth place is Robin Glerum. Fifth place then is Toon de Winter. Then it is Mark Verhoeven. In sixth place, Lars Lardenois, seventh place as they go into the right-hander. Robin Glerum makes a move there for third place. Good move that from Glerum as Jimmy Devine there just trying to hold off Thomas Cypers. You have to do a lot of defending in race 1, and he'd have to do it here as well if he's going to hold on to the victory. Could he defend for 15 laps, though? That would be some effort if he could. Thomas Cypers, I think that's the only way he's going to beat him. He's going to have to defend and just have Thomas Cypers under pressure from the likes of Robin Glerum. That seems to be the tactics from Jimmy Devine at the moment. Checks over his shoulder, sees Cypers behind him. Cypers also having to go defensive from Robin Glerum. This is very similar to what we had in the very first race of the weekend. All the KZ drivers right together. There was a lot of changing of positions on that occasion, and I think we're going to see some during this one as well. As Glenn Vanden Hoek, good move that down the inside of Robin Glerum, and not for the first time this weekend, not for the first time today, in fact. Now Glerum under pressure from Toon de Winter. De Winter also has the attentions of Mark Verhoeven, who's going along well in the early stages of this one. Then it is Lars Lardenois next along as Jimmy Devine leaves the door open almost at turn number 2, but Thomas Cypers a little bit over ambitious there, trying to go for a move. Glenn Vanden Hoek in that third place still, but Robin Glerum will be keen to get it back, knowing that Thomas Cypers could take the lead at any point. And there goes Cypers, tries to move down the inside at the end of the back straight, and he's made it. Well, he had to do something special to get past Jimmy Devine, because Devine was defending everywhere that was possible. And Cypers has done just that, going down the inside at the end of the back straight. Good move that from Cypers. Now, watch him clear off from the rest of the field. He's been doing it all weekend, and in terms of a lead battle, he's made it he's made it non-existent. He's just got on with things and has ran away with every single race we've had so far this weekend. So he's on to take overall victory at the moment as they head through the second corner, through the hairpin and onto the back straight. They go. Thomas Cypers leading the way. Jimmy Devine in second place. And there's a change for third. Robin Glerham goes back through to third place then. Van den Hoek may lose fourth place there to Toon de Winter, and he does. So Toon de Winter into fourth place then. And behind that is Mark Verhoeven. Then it is Lars Lardenois. Mark Verhoeven and Lars Lardenois dropped off the back of the queue just ever so slightly here, as the leaders make their way up towards the start-finish straight. Thomas Cypers does a 53.1. I'll tell you what, Jimmy Devine is not a million miles away pace-wise. Not on this lap anyway, but this is Thomas Cypers just warming up, I feel. Behind that is Robin Glerham, Toon de Winter. Then it's Glenn Van den Hoek, Lars Lardenois, and Mark Verhoeven. 5 laps in, well, 4.5 laps in. This is lap 5 of 16. And this will conclude proceedings for the weekend. Unfortunately, it's been brilliant racing all weekend. I hope you have enjoyed it if you have been tuning in on the live stream. It's been fantastic here to commentate on the coverage, not only around the circuit as we usually do, but also live as well. As here goes Robin Glerham. Is he about to go past Jimmy Devine? Yes, he is. So that is Glerham into second place there. But was great news to hear that we're going to have the live stream back at Austricourt. Of course, don't forget all the videos from this weekend. All the races will be available to watch on YouTube after the weekend. So make sure tomorrow, if you're around the circuit, or indeed if you're watching on the live stream and you missed some races that you were looking to see, then you can go onto YouTube, just search for BNL Karting Series, and you'll see the races come up tomorrow. I'd say from tomorrow afternoon onwards. So tomorrow, Tuesday at latest, you'll be able to go on and watch all the races back and share them with your friends and family as well as we go across the line. Cypers leading by 1 second with the fastest lap as well. This is basically what we have seen all weekend. So Cypers doing what he does best, and that is leading a race in the BNL Karting Series this weekend. So Cypers doing a good job. Fourth place is up for grabs though. It could be going the way of Toon de Winter or Glenn Van den Hoek. Into the left-hand hairpin. Cypers down towards the right-hander. It's just a master at this track already, isn't it? I'm not too sure if it's just track knowledge or if it's just something he's managed to get nailed down this weekend. But Cypers has not had any challenges come the end of the race. He's had challenges early on in races, but that's been the only bit of fighting he's really had to do. So I'm not too sure if it's knowledge he may have of the track, but certainly when you watch him going around, it doesn't look like he will make one mistake in a race, and seems to just make it look easy. Looks, considering how much he's doing in that car, racing in a KZ, he's just making things look very, very easy. This is a gearbox car, of course, so not easy machinery to go around in, but if you're Thomas Cypers, it is from a distance, as we are at the half race distance. 8 laps gone, 8 laps to go. There is Toon de Winter and Glenn Vanden Hoek. Not too sure what's happened to Verhoeven, but he stopped at turn 2, unfortunately, so I'm not too sure what's happened there, but Verhoeven has stopped out on track. That's a real shame, because Mark Verhoeven was actually going along really well, so a real shame to see that he stopped. Was probably having one of his best performances of the weekend, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to end his weekend on a high. He's going to have to end it watching from the sidelines, but he's got a good view of how Thomas Cypers negotiates that second corner. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up a few tips from what seems to be a master of this circuit in a KZ in Cypers. Lap 10 of 16 now. Just to let everyone know that the podium will take place at 15 minutes past 5. So that will be in exactly half an hour's time. So the podium ceremony will be at 15 minutes past 5 in exactly half an hour. Make sure you've got your race suits on, and please do be there on time as well, and we will get the podium ceremony underway as quickly as we can, because obviously we do know around the track people have to catch ferries or trains back to wherever they're going. Some people have flights to get, so we will get underway as soon as we can. So please do make sure you are there, as we will be getting underway 15 minutes past 5. But back to the on-track action. Cypers leading the way from Glerham. Then it's Devine there, and Vanden Hoek behind that. Toon de Winter. Lars Lardenois leading completing the field. And then no Mark Verhoeven, unfortunately, fell away 4 laps ago. Must have been some sort of mechanical issue. I didn't hear anyone have a crash in particular, but I'd say that was an issue for Mark Verhoeven. As 4 laps then to go, is that? In fact, make that 5 laps remaining. It's been brilliant racing this weekend. It's good to have the KZs here. Of course, slow start to proceedings in terms of entries, but we've got to start somewhere, and hopefully what people have seen this weekend in terms of the organising of the event, some of the racing they've been impressed with, and they'll fancy coming along to Ostricourt. Ostricourt's going to be a very interesting track to see KZs going round, and then not only that, but then we'll go back to the Genk circuit, then come back here very first weekend of October. So 3 rounds, it goes by pretty quickly, and there's not much room for error. But it's been a good first round. I think across all classes we've seen very, very good racing. Micro Max, Tom Bracken, of course, emerging the deserved winner there. Mini Max, we saw some brilliant racing, but we saw Tom Reinhardt's dominating proceedings out front. However, we saw a lot of drivers getting very close to challenging him, but not quite close enough this time. But I think for the rest of the season, we've got the likes of Christian Decline, Jarno Zopfi, Max Schnappen, Victor Kamata, Charlie Wirtz. All of those at some point this weekend were close enough to challenge him, but beating him is another story. So they're going to have to find something else to beat Tom Reinhardt's Junior Max. It was, of course, Lewis Gilbert who took 3 out of 4 wins there. But Mike Van Voot, a really strong day today to come back and put himself amongst the title contenders. Senior Max, Mick Knowlton was the star of the show for the majority of the weekend. Hannes Morin raced well, as did the likes of Bradley Barrett, Clayton Ravenscroft. Van Vark had a good day today. So did Boulders, a good turnaround for him. Nick Cuppins as well, 6th and a 4th for him today. But we believe believe it's sort of Knowlton, Moran, Barrett and Ravenscroft at the top of the championship, leaving today. And DD2's, of course, Ioannis leading the way there. Barry Pullinger and Sander Ziralak not quite close enough to beat him in that final race, but he was beaten earlier on today. Barry Pullinger took the win in race number 3 from Sander Ziralak when Ioannis hit problems and then picked up a penalty anyway. So Pullinger and Ziralak were always going to win that one, with Ioannis having a penalty for wrong start procedure. Prelings, the likes of Gilles Prelings was close at times, but and William van der Kaaj as well. Those two in particular got very close at times. Chris Sturkin put in some good performances over the weekend. The Masters as well. We had the likes of Hatzi Stephanus, Christoph Adams, Townsend, Jermaine, Leenan, Ostrovsky, Mattis. Then we have KZ, which is coming up to the line to complete 15 laps of racing. So just one more lap to go for Thomas Cypers. Let's follow him round then for the last lap. He's just starting to take it easy now. I think it's fair to say he's half a second off of his best time. So preserving the engine, doesn't want anything to go wrong. This is Jimmy Devine, having been caught by Glenn Vandenhoek. And Vandenhoek really starting to put the pressure on now as they come onto the back straight. Vandenhoek is drawn alongside. Down the back straight, Vandenhoek. Is he going to make the move? Oh, there's almost contact between the pair, and Vandenhoek makes the move. So he likes doing moves on the last lap there, does Glenn Vandenhoek. That's twice he's done that today. But this is the man who has dominated this weekend. Thomas Cypers, a brilliant weekend for him. He's won every single race this weekend. Barely been challenged. He's won. Thomas Cypers up to the line. 4 out of 4 wins for him. Second place is going to go to Robin Glerum. Third place is going to go to Glenn Vandenhoek. Jimmy Devine 4th. Toon de Winter 5th. Lars Landenmois is 6th. Unfortunately, Verhoeven off in the background there. But Thomas Cypers unbeaten this weekend. A dominant display from him. Takes all 4 race victories and with it a very comfortable championship lead. So Thomas Cypers it is who will leave with the maximum score of 220 points. Robin Glerum finishes in 2nd. Vandenhoek finishes in 3rd place. Jimmy Devine 4th. Toon de Winter 5th. Lars Landenmois 6th, with Verhoeven in 7th place.